Well, Yusuf Usman is the next guest. He's the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Nasarawa State. He joins us from Abuja. Well, good morning and thank you for joining us. Well, if the states do receive this, well, you could call it budget support bailout fund from the government, why does Nasarawa State need to slash salaries?
Okay, first, the issue of slash of salary, as you call it, and the bailout funds are two different issues. Let me begin with the allegation of slash of salaries. It is not true that Nasarawa State government has slashed the salary of any worker. What has happened was a reduction or a review of the super bonuses that the government magnanimously gave the workers during the implementation of the minimum wage in 2011. To appreciate this, it's better to take it, from the historical perspective. Prior to the minimum wage era, workers in Nasarawa State, the least paid worker earned about 5,500, which was in compliance with the Minimum Wage Act of that time in 2004. By 2011, when the Minimum Wage Act was amended, it brought the minimum threshold any worker could be paid to 18,000. Now in Nasarawa State, the government paid 18,900 to the least paid worker. That is 900 naira over and above the minimum wage. And it graduated that way up to level 16 with a percentage increase of over 300%. The government kept on paying from 2011 up to 2016 as at when due, regularly and without any reduction. But in 2016, it became very obvious that the government could not continue to pay at that rate and yet be able to shoulder its constitutional responsibilities of taking care of the other sectors of the society who are neither part of labor nor who are not part of labor. So what that meant was that the government had to take one of two decisions: either to continue paying as it was paying consistently from 2011, or to take a decision to rationalize the workers. Nasarawa State government considered itself as a government, as an employer of last resort, and it did not take the option of rationalization of workers. So it became obvious that measures must be put in place to ensure sustainability in the payment of salaries.
Does the government do?
As a result of that, the government convoked stakeholders conference.
We'll come to that in a minute. Let me just put in this one. What does the government do with the funds they receive from the federal government?
You are talking of the bailout funds?
Yes.
The fuck?
Yes. The bailout fund was disbursed in line with the instructions of its disbursement as it came from the federal government. The local government workers were paid through the bailout funds, and the balance of it was used for the settlement of arrears of salaries in the state government.
That's after the slash or before?
Sorry, can you come again?
I'm asking because if you say the review committee did make that recommendation, so the thing is, if you're receiving those funds from the federal government, is there still a need for that review of salaries?
Yes, the review of salaries was necessitated by two factors. One, a sharp decline in accruals from the Federation accounts, and two, the inability of the state government to pay salaries as it was then because of the wage bill. The wage bill stood at about 1.9 or 2.1, while the accruals coming from the Federation account was about 1.9, and if you add that to the internally generated revenue of the state, it will still not offset the wage bill, let alone to leave anything for developmental services to the people. So it became necessary for the government to review not the salaries, but like I said earlier, the bonuses that were given workers as a result of the implementation of the minimum wage. But in doing so, the government was very much aware of the Minimum Wage Act, and nothing was done to tamper with the Minimum Wage Act, because up till now, even in the new template, the least paid worker in Nasarawa State takes home 18,300. That is 300 naira over and above the minimum threshold. So it is not correct for anybody to say that the minimum wage has been slashed or worker salaries have been slashed by 50%.
Mr. Usman, if I may come in here, if there's...
So it would seem that, first of all, I think that we should take on some of the issues raised by one of the labor leaders who just left the studios here. Now, he talked about, tampering with the minimum wage, that they would never have agreed. And they also believe that, the government just went on ahead to take these decisions unilaterally without really consulting anyone or following the processes that labor stipulates must be followed, or labor laws stipulates must be followed. How do you answer to those allegations?
Thank you very much. First, there was a stakeholders conference which was convoked by government. Mm-hmm. And that stakeholders conference came up with a resolution that the state government and the labor should interface and find solution to the lingering labor problem in the state. Pursuant to that, the governor now set up a 23-man committee, which I had the privilege to chair. And in that committee, labor was fully represented.
By who?
By
because
the NLC chairman.
They were not there.
Oh, no, it's not true. The person who said that wasn't in Nasarawa State. He didn't even know anything about it. First, the NLC chairman of the state chapter, the TUC chairman of the state chapter, the secretary, NLC, state chapter.
They were all there.
All of them, about 8 of them.
And they attended the meetings?
They attended the meetings. They were part and parcel of the deliberations.
Did they give any objections to some of the issues being raised at the meeting? Because it's one thing for you to be there as a matter of as a respect to government of the day, but it's another thing for you to raise objection to how the committee has been constituted.
Yeah, it was not only a matter of respect, but because it was a matter that concerns the labor so much that they were fully part of the entire process of the deliberation of that committee. Of course, they had their position, the representatives of government had their position, and the stakeholders had their position. the Labour took part fully in the deliberation. Indeed, they only backed out at the last minute of the last day when the report was supposed to be signed and submitted to the government.